The rain was a constant. A soft percussion against the permaglass dome of Elara's archive. It was the soundtrack to her solitude. 1,000 tiny taps blurring the world outside into a watercolor smear of gray and neon. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of ozone and old paper. A deliberate, anachronistic choice. Stacks of physical books, their spines cracked and leather worn, competed for space with humming server racks and holographic displays that cast a cool blue light. Elara moved through the canyon of her collections. A ghost in her own home. Her fingers, pale and slender, trailed over the spine of a 20th century encyclopedia, then tapped a command into a floating interface. A cascade of light erupted before her, resolving into a shimmering, translucent tree. Her cataloging system. Each leaf was a memory, a digitized echo of a life lived and, for one reason or another, discarded. This was her purpose, to be the curator of the forgotten. People paid to have their most painful, or most mundane, memories extracted and disposed of. Elara collected them. She sifted through the emotional detritus of humanity, preserving the echoes of joy, heartbreak, and boredom. It was how she lived, how she felt connected to a world from which she had long since retreated. Through the echoes of others, she was never truly alone. And yet, she was perpetually lonely. The new batch was a typical assortment. A man's memory of his 5th birthday party. The cake unnaturally bright. A woman's first kiss. All fumbling teeth and racing heartbeat. The soul-crushing tedium of a daily commute. The same gray highway stretching into infinity. Elara sorted them with practiced efficiency. Her neural headset translating the raw data into fleeting sensory impressions. She felt the ghost of sugar on her tongue, the flush of adolescent embarrassment, the numb ache of routine. She was a vault of second-hand lives. Then, she found the anomaly. It was nestled between a memory of a golf game and the sensation of a dental drill. It didn't have the standard alphanumeric tag. Just a string of symbols that flickered like a dying star. Asterisk asterisk tilde asterisk tilde astraeus asterisk tilde asterisk tilde asterisk asterisk. Her systems hadn't flagged it, but her own intuition, honed by years of swimming in the seas of human consciousness, prickled. She isolated the file. It was small, a mere fragment, but the data density was off the charts. With a flick of her wrist, she cast it onto the main holodisplay. The archive vanished. The gray rain, the humming servers, the scent of old books. It all dissolved into an impossible, silent black. Not the black of a room at night, but the profound, absolute black of deep space. Elara's breath caught in her throat. Then, the light began. It started as a single, distant pinprick, then erupted into a silent supernova. Ribbons of cosmic dust, glowing in colors she had no name for, swirled into existence. Nebulae bloomed like flowers made of starlight, their cores pulsing with a gentle, rhythmic light. It was a dance, a slow, majestic ballet of creation and destruction, of gas and gravity. There was no sound, but the silence itself felt like a symphony. And the asterisk feeling. This was not a human memory. Human memories were messy, layered with ego and narrative and the chemical cocktail of a biological body. This was pure. It was the feeling of wonder, unadulterated by fear. It was the serene joy of existence, of being a part of an infinite, beautiful whole. It was a loneliness so vast it had transcended solitude and become peace. Impossible, she whispered, the word swallowed by the cosmic display. Her hands flew across the interface, pulling up diagnostic tools, spectral analysis, negative for known neural patterns, emotional resonance, off the scale, but the waveform was all wrong. Too clean, too coherent, biological signature, non-terrestrial. The words flashed in stark red letters across the bottom of the display. Origin. Unknown. Her heart hammered against her ribs. This wasn't an echo of a human life. This was something else. Something from out there. For days, she did nothing but study the fragment. She named it Astraeus, after the ancient titan of the dusk. She stopped cataloging the other memories. The petty human dramas felt shallow, insignificant next to the silent majesty of Astraeus. She would sit for hours, immersing herself in the star dance, trying to understand. She was an archaeologist of feeling, and she had found a relic from another world. One evening, exhausted, she rested her head on her arms, the holographic starlight playing over her tired face. "Who are you?" she murmured, not expecting an answer. The question meant for the empty, rain-soaked air. The memory fragment shimmered. It was subtle, a shift in the dance. The swirling nebula at the center of the display seemed to pause, its gentle pulses slowing. Then, the tendrils of light, which had always moved in a predetermined, beautiful pattern, curled. One luminous strand detached from the main dance and drifted towards the foreground of the hologram. Towards her. Elara froze, her breath stilling in her lungs. It was no longer a recording. It was a reaction. Tentatively, she reached out a hand, her fingers hovering just at the edge of the light. She wasn't touching the interface. It was an instinctual, human gesture. In response, the tendril of light extended, stretching until it was a hair's breadth from her holographic fingertip. A new image bloomed in the space between them, not of stars and dust, but of a single, perfect, crystalline snowflake, intricate and impossibly complex. And with the image came a feeling, a clear, cool sensation that washed over her, not through her headset, but directly into her mind. It was a feeling of recognition, a quiet, profound hello. Elara's eyes widened, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek, glistening in the alien starlight. She was no longer looking at a memory. She was communicating with the entity within it. The connection was the most real thing she had ever felt. And then, the entire archive flickered. The hologram of Astraeus wavered, the serene starlight distorting for a fraction of a second, replaced by a flash of something sharp, jagged, and cold. A glimpse of dark, metallic shapes and a feeling of piercing urgency. Of a warning. It was gone as quickly as it came, the beautiful star dance returning to its serene flow. But the echo of that cold, sharp fear now hung in the air, a silent scream lingering in the space between the stars.